What's going on, you guys? My name is Eric with Dudethriftclothing. In today's video, I'm going to show you the exact items I sold to make $20,000 in sales on eBay in the last 2 months. So if you're ready, let's get into it. All right, guys, before I show you all of the sales, I want to go over a few things here on the screen. First, I want to talk about my average sale price. For these 2 months, I was at $58.33. Right now, I'm currently at $61, I think, and last month I was at $65. So that's definitely where I want to be. I want to be at least $50 average sale price. I also want to talk about here my percentage of sales. Number one is suits and suit separates at 33.5% of my total sales, which is expected, because I pick up quite a few blazers and suits. As long as I keep picking up quality blazers and suits, it's definitely going to keep going up. I also want to talk about here my selling costs. Not just these 2 months, but mainly this year, I've been hovering between 25 and 27% of my total sales for the selling costs. But these 2 months, I was at 26.1% of my total sales, which is down from last year. I was at around 33%. And that's because I don't promote my items anymore. Starting this year, I stopped promoting all of my items. As you can see here, 3.1% of my total sales came from promotion, and 96.9% came from organic. I did a couple months of promoting all of my items at 5%, and then I did a couple months promoting 0 items, and there was no drop off. Everything stayed the same. So I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna stop promoting, and it's definitely helped me. I mean, it's putting more money into my pocket. So, and yeah, this number is soon gonna be 100% organic. It's 3% right now because some of my older items from last year still have that promoted turned on. All right, so I'm going to get into the sales now. I'm going to start with the higher sales, and I'm going to work my way down. First, I sold this Willis & Geiger field jacket, and I'm going to let you guys know, how long it took to sell. That way you kind of have an idea of the items and how quickly they're selling or how slow they're selling. So I listed this one October 16th, and it sold on October 30th, and I sold it for $350 plus shipping. I charged shipping on all of my items, and this was a crazy find just because it's a new with tag. And if you don't know about Willis & Geiger, they went out of business in, I think, 1999. So all of their items are considered vintage. They don't make these anymore. So they're pretty desirable. It's a very good brand. Pretty much anything Willis & Geiger I always pick up. And I bought this one, I think, for 20 bucks. And like I said, it was new with tag, as you can see there. The price was $216. But yeah, there wasn't too many of these listed. So I priced it at $1,000. I knew I wasn't going to get $1,000. I wanted to see what kind of offers I would get. And I just decided to accept this $350 offer. I kind of wanted to get at least $500, but this buyer was from Japan. When international buyers send me offers, I tend to take a little bit less just because I know that I won't see the item anymore, right? So there won't be any returns. So yeah, $350 for this one. Be on the lookout for Willis & Geiger items. They do very good. And by the way, if this is your first time here, I have a lot of blazers, so a lot of these sales are going to be blazers, especially the higher end sales. All right, let's get into this one now. This one's Hermenegildo Segna Trofeo Light Blazer. Sold for $300. I listed this September 21st. Sold to September 28th. So it only took a week to sell. And you're going to see a theme. For my blazers, I really do sell them pretty quickly. There's a few strategies that I like to use. I'm gonna let you know right now, so give this video a like. So a few things that I like to do here, starting from my title, is I like to include these keywords. I like to include blazer. I like to include jacket. Well, this one just says sport. I think there wasn't enough space, but I like to put sport coat. Although there's a difference between a blazer, between a suit jacket and a sport coat. The majority of buyers on eBay, they're searching more blazer. That's why I like to lead with the blazer. And some people search for jacket, suit jacket, and some people search for sport coat. But in my experience, more people are searching for blazer And so I like to lead with that. And yeah, that's just something that I feel like helps me get a little bit more sales. Obviously the pictures, the mannequin, if you really want to step up your blazer and suit game, get yourself a mannequin. I have a link in the description, the exact one that I use, and I 100% am certain that I get a little bit more just because I have it on this mannequin. But yeah, this only took a week to sell. Hermenegildo Seña obviously does very good. And this was a Trofeo Light. Anytime you can see like a special model under Hermenegildo Seña, just look it up. Most of the time it's gonna be very good. And obviously the pattern, this is a very nice pattern, check pattern, 100% wool. Yeah, there's a lot of cool elements to this blazer jacket. And yeah, sold for $300. I priced it at $400. Now that you may be asking, why did I price it at $400? And to be honest, a lot of times I don't really go by other people's listings. Obviously you want to look at the solds, you want to look at if there's anything similar. But if you have a really nice item, I like to price it high, and people just send me offers, right? People are gonna send me a good offer, and if I like it, I'll accept it. If I don't like it, then I'm just gonna counter offer. And the longer the item sits, the more I'll be willing to accept a lower offer. But $300 is very good right there. And by the way, my average cost of goods is $10.60. So just keep that in mind, because I'm not gonna remember how much I paid for each item. Next up, I got this blazer. Brand is called Phoenix Cole, and this one sold pretty quickly again. Listed September 22nd, sold October 5th. Again, I priced it at $400. I think this one I did pay up. I paid like $50 or $60. After doing a little bit more research, the Phoenix Cole is part of like the Paul Stewart. It's another pretty good brand for their blazers. But this was a nice one. It was a cashmere silk blend. Had a nice window pane pattern. And I just listed it high. And how much did I accept? $300, right? Yeah, I accepted $280. So be on the lookout for Phoenix and Cole. Let me show you it's right here, Phoenix and Cole. But like I said, if you can find a Paul Stewart blazer, those are gonna do pretty good as well. Here got a J. Crew linen blazer, sold for $284.99. I don't know if you guys remember, I found this one in one of my Thrift With Me videos, and there's a lot of really good things about this one. Yeah, this one had just so many good keywords that I could use. First, J. Crew Ludlow. It's one of the better lines for J. Crew blazers. It was a slim fit too, so that's gonna elevate the value. It was double-breasted. That was gonna elevate the value again. Double-breasted is very in style right now. And it was a Japanese inspired. I looked up by the way, J. Crew has like their style right here. If you just look up the style number, it's usually gonna pop up on Google. And I saw the name, it was like a Japanese inspired something, so I just used Japanese as a keyword. And it also had a peak lapel. So the peak lapel are right here when the lapel goes up, like passing the collar. That's considered a peak lapel. And those, if you can find a blazer in a peak lapel, it usually adds a little bit more value. So this one I priced it high at $300. And yeah, I think somebody used a coupon, so $285. Here we got a Laurel Piana cashmere blazer. This one sold for $250. I listed it September 3rd, and it sold on October 23rd. So almost 2 months. And this one had a little tear on the inside liner. Let's check it out right now, how big it was. I mean, it's pretty decent, right? It was a pretty big tear. But when it comes to like really good brands, especially if it has a really good material like cashmere, even if it has a tear or a hole, I usually just pick it up because I know, I know these are super expensive, especially Loro Piana cashmere blazers. Like this one was called the Green Storm System. I knew it was gonna do very good, even with the little tear on the liner. And by the way, people can replace the liner, so don't be afraid to to pick up really good brands, even if it has a small tear on the liner. So $250 for that one. Here I sold this Arc'teryx Cerium hoodie jacket for $280. I listed this on May 27th, sold September 22nd. Obviously, I picked it up during the summertime, so I knew I was gonna wait a couple of months, and yeah, I sold September 22nd for $280. And I do remember how much I paid for this. I paid $9.99 at Goodwill. Very good find. I priced it high, $400. I could have probably gotten like $300 if I waited a little bit more, but $280, it's not bad. Here I got my first suit. This one's a Canali suit, navy blue striped. This one I listed October 22nd and it sold October 29th. So that's a very quick turnaround for a suit. But Canali suits do very good. Canali, they have like different tags. I think sometimes if you can find like the Canali, I think it's called the Kai or K. That one does probably one of the better models in Canali blazers and suits. But this one sold for $200 plus shipping. Just a basic navy blue striped suit, two-piece suit. Here I got a Suit Supply blazer, sold for $250. I listed this September 9th, sold October 19th. Let's check it out why it sold for $250. So this one had a lot of things going for it again. I mean, Suit Supply in of itself is a really good brand. There's also Slim Fit, and it was a Havana Peak model. So you'll find the model here in the tag. It says Havana Peak Jetted. I think that's considered half lined. I think that's what it's, let's see. Yeah, half lined. They also had this fabric company, Marlin and Evans. I don't even add that to the title, but what else? I had a good houndstooth pattern. So I had a lot of good things going for it. $250. Good sale. Here we got another Loro Piana blazer. This one I listed September 17th, sold October 7th. Sold for $170. Nice brown color, window pane pattern. This one was the Australis Loro Piana J. Hilburn. And here's, I've talked about this before in other videos, but when I find a Loro Piana blazer with the lesser brand, J. Hilburn can do okay. But more people are searching for Loro Piana blazers. So I lead that in the title and I put the brand at the end. So technically this was a J. Hilburn blazer with the Loro Piana fabric, but I led with Loro Piana blazer. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's just how I do it. What else? Oh, this was a good sale. Robert Graham blazer. This was a leather blazer jacket, sold for $200. I got this for I think $30. Had a nice floral lined. Sold very quickly. Listed October 7th, sold October 12th. So very quick flip for $200. Now I don't buy that many electronics, but if I find something good that I know it's gonna make me money, I'm gonna pick it up, of course. And I saw this Xbox One S bundle that all this came together. It was in a Goodwill. It was like in their case on the front, and I paid $50 for this, and it sold for $189. So, and listed July 25th, Sold September 13th. It took a little bit, a couple months to sell, but pretty good. Here I got another Suit Supply blazer. Listed October 3rd. Sold September 14th. This one sold for $190. Again, it had a good pattern. And this one had the Vitaly Barberis Canonico. This one had the woolen flannel fabric. So that one's gonna do very good. And this model does pretty good too. The Sienna single breasted. So there's a lot of good things, good elements to this blazer. Sold for 190 bucks. Here I got these Hermenegildo Senya jeans. This is the second time that it's sold. I think the first time I sold it for a little bit more. How much was this? 150 bucks. Yeah, I accepted an offer for 140. I priced this at $200. I think the first time I sold it for like 175. But yeah, $140. Listed these October 9th. Sold October 26th. And these just felt very high quality. I found quite a few in one thrift store. I think I sold a couple already, so be on the lookout for Hermenegildo Senya jeans. Not all of them do good. I mean, just by feeling it and just by looking at, you know, the little details, like it had like, you know, like a leather, had some like leather here and on the back as well. Very nice jeans. Here I got another pair of jeans. This one was called Hiroshi Kato. Sold for $150. Had the selvage as well. Let me show you the tag. There's a tag. I've sold maybe a handful of times since I started reselling. It's not a brand that you'll find that often, but when you do, it's like, oh man, it's a really good feeling when you find brands like this, because you know, like the resale value is insane. But yeah, 150 bucks. I think I paid $10. No, I paid $15, I think. Here I got a Peter Millar linen blazer. Sold for $125. Listed October 27th. Sold October 30th. So it took it took 3 days to sell. I listed this at $200. And the reason I took the offer for so low is because I did have a few like just some stains. It's kind of hard to see here, but I had a few like dark spots. I could have, you know, taken it out with some water, and I did try to do it. But you know, I'll leave that up to the buyer. I accepted $120, so not bad. And this one was a Loro Piana Summertime too. I've sold Loro Piana Summertime for over $200, so this person definitely got a really good deal. Here I got a Charles Terret two-piece suit. I've always done very good with Charles Terret blazers and their suits. This one sold for $150. I listed this September 30th and it sold on October 11th. So again, very quick turnaround for my suits. You know, a lot of people, and it is true, right? Like suits and blazers can take a little bit longer to sell, but you just gotta be open to offers, and you gotta take really good pictures. You gotta take really good measurements. And if people message you about a measurement, you know, in my opinion, you should definitely, you know, give that person the measurement. I know a lot of times, you know, we think, okay, you know, this person is messaging me about a measurement. You know, they're just going to be a hassle to work with. They're going to return it. That could be your past experience, but when it comes to blazers and suits, somebody, like, it's really hard to buy something online without knowing that specific measurement. So those are just little things, right, that you can do. And there's been many times where somebody's messaged me about, you know, a measurement for a suit, and I replied, you know, within the day, and they bought it, right? So the longer you take to respond to those messages, the more likely that, you know, that person's not going to buy it. So there's, you know, different things like that that can help you, you know, get the the sale quicker for blazers and suits. Here I got another Loro Piana blazer. This one sold for $100. Listed September 17th. Sold September 20th. So it took 3 days. This one was a nice purple color. Nothing too special about this one. And again, this was a Daniel Cremue, and I didn't even add that to the title. Obviously, you want to take the picture, but Daniel Cremue blazers don't really do that good. Loro Piana does very good, so I'll just let it with that one. Here I got one of those tailor and stitch wool shirt jackets. I sold this one for $110. Listed October 15th, sold October 27th. I had this one listed at $150 and just took the offer. But this one was a very nice one. Paid $10. Had a nice like speckled. Yeah, I did use that in the title. Speckled. Very nice one. And I had two more. Actually, I have one more right now. I sold another one, and I'll show you a little bit later. Here I got the Schaefer Outfitter Duster coat jacket. Be on the lookout for these. These do very good in this brand, Schaefer Outfitter. These are used like for people that have a ranch, you know, so they won't get their clothes dirty. Sold for $100. Listed this April 30th, sold October 4th. Next up, I got a Luciano Barbera blazer. This one sold for $100. Listed September 22nd. Sold September 23rd, so it took a day. Dang. For $130 or $100. Again, Luciano Barbera is one of those brands that it's an automatic pickup for me when it comes to pretty much everything, but specifically their blazers. There you have Luciano Barbera. I sold quite a few, and yeah, it's always a pickup for me for blazers. And this person, this buyer has bought probably like 5 blazers for me in the past 2 years. And they also bought, I remember last year, I think they bought 3. I can't remember the brand right now. I'll pop it here on the screen. But yeah, they bought 3 of those. Dang, this is a bolo, you guys. This is a B. Draddy quilted hoodie. Now the model is Andy. This was a crazy flip, man. $100. Paid like $10, I think. Listed September 20th. Sold October 22nd. So it took a month to sell. And stuff like this, like people just overlook. Yeah, I mean, B. Draddy is not like a very, I mean, it can be an okay brand like for polos and stuff like that, but to get $100 for a hoodie, it's crazy, man. Because these, if you go on the website, brand new, I think they're like close to $300. So if somebody paying $100, you know, in their mind, they got a really good deal. And this one also had like an embroidery there on the sleeve. But yeah, $100 for a B. Draddy hoodie. Crazy. Here I got a X suit jacket. This was a new brand to me when I found it. Listed October 29th. Sold September 20th. Man, how come I can't see? How much was it? Okay, $100. I accepted. I accepted $100. Let me show you the tag right here. There's a logo, X. Has a very performance, techy, stretchy feel. Good brand, $100. Here I got a Harris tweed blazer. Listed May 22nd, sold October 5th. Harris tweed blazers always get at least $75. This one I got $100. Pretty quick turnaround. Oh no, actually this one took a while. If you list these like before the summertime, expect to sit on it a little bit. You may sell it, you may not, but most likely you won't until, you know, around the fall time, winter time. people are looking for these more. But it doesn't matter if I find it in the summer, in the spring, you know, I'm still gonna pick this up. I don't mind holding on to it because I sell these for, you know, over 75 all day. This is a good sale as well. This is a First Light Corrugate Guide Pants, sold for $95. Listed October 7th, sold October 21st. I think these I paid $10. There's the logo. Very good brand. Pretty much everything in this brand is good. So $95 for those. Here I got another Suit Supply blazer. $100. Listed September 8th. Sold October 16th. This one was the Sienna Vital. No, this one was the Sienna model. Yeah, the Sienna single-breasted. Had the Vitali fabric. $100. What else we got here? Here's the other Tailor Stitch wool shirt, sold for $90. Listed October 26th, sold October 29th. So very quick turnaround. And again, I paid $10 for this. So I only have one left. I have the red one. So hopefully I can get close to $100 for that one as well. Here I got a Polo Ralph Lauren diamond quilted vest. Big size, 4XB. It was insulated. Sold for $100. Listed May 9th. And sold October 17th. So it did take a while to sell. Sold for $116. But very good flip. I think I paid like $20. Here I got a Hickey Freeman cashmere blazer. Now I don't pick up every single Hickey Freeman blazer, but this one was a nice pattern and it was cashmere, so I knew it was gonna sell. Even if it was just 10% cashmere, you know, obviously you want to add that to the title. Even if it was 1% cashmere, you know, you can definitely add that to the title, and it's gonna sell. It's gonna help it sell for sure. This one had a nice brown color window pane pattern. Sold for $80. Here I got a Barber quilted jacket, sold for $90. Listed this September 22nd. Sold October 14th. Barber quilted jackets have always done very good, especially during the fall and winter time. This one had a nice corduroy collar. And I found this in the women's section. So, yeah. $90. Here I got a Todd Snyder corduroy pants. It was listed September 30th. Sold October 5th. Sold for $90. Man, I couldn't believe when I found this. Especially a new with tag Todd Snyder item. Man, you're not gonna come across these very often. It was a nice one though. $90. Here we got an Ariat country boots, sold for $75. Listed September 17th. Sold September 26th. I paid $40 for these. So let's see how much I made. So after the shipping and all the fees, I got back $66.15. So if I paid $40, I made $16. Some people would think that's good. Other people think that's not good. In my opinion, that's okay, you know, considering the fact that, how long did it take? It only took, you know, make a week, a little bit over a week to make $16. I'll take it. Here you got a Bogey Milano blazer. This is the first time that I picked up this brand in a blazer, and I found two in the same thrift store. Sold for $100. Listed July 16th, sold October 16th. Let me show you the tag right here. Bogey Milano. The comps showed pretty good for the prices that I can get. I think I paid $15, so a good flip right there. Be on the lookout for these vintage Polo Ralph Lauren denim shirts. This one was a Dungarees 90s style, sold for 90 bucks. Or did it? Dungaree style, sold for 90 bucks. Even if it doesn't have like the pony, some of them can still do pretty good. This one has some nice distressing, some fading. Very good flip. Here I got another Polo Ralph Lauren item. This one was a new with tag trucker jacket, denim jacket, sold for 90 bucks. Listed October 29th, sold September 2nd. This was a no-brainer when I saw it. I think I paid like $20. I knew it was gonna sell for, you know, over 70, 80 bucks, brand new. MSRP is 168. So good flip. Talked about these diesel jeans in a lot of my videos. The diesel Satan and the Satani model, always 100% price them at 100 bucks. Always get at least $75. And these, as you can see, I got over 90 bucks with shipping. Listed October 2nd, sold October 7th. And sometimes they sell pretty quickly as well, so good flip. Here I got some Lululemon ABC pants. These were new with tags. Listed July 25th, sold October 3rd. Sold for $80. Not too much to say about this. If you can find Lululemon new with tag items, they usually do pretty good. They hold their value pretty good. So yeah, the used ones, you know, Lululemon ABC pants is very saturated right now. But right now I'm kind of just holding back on picking up a lot of Lululemon ABC pants. They just have to be in perfect and mint condition for me to pick them up. This is a really good brand, Jacob Cohen jeans, sold for $90. Listed September 7th, sold October 16th. Very good brand. I think these are considered a luxury designer brand. Had the nice button fly as well. Very good. Here we got an Hermenegildo Seña blazer, sold for 89 bucks. Again, this one was a Trofeo light, I think. Yeah, it was a Trofeo one. Had a nice houndstooth pattern. I should have added that to the title. I think that's houndstooth, right? I mean, I did add window pane pattern. But yeah, 89 bucks. Here I got a new with tag Viore ripstop climber pants. Again, same with the Lululemon. If you can find new with tag Viore items, they're gonna do very good. Here I got another bolo for you guys. This one's a zero restriction and a TaylorMade. I had no idea about TaylorMade. I thought this was, you know, just like a local company. But the more I did my research, the more I figured out that the zero restriction, I think TaylorMade, they make like golf accessories, right? Like golf clubs and stuff like that. So they did this collaboration with zero restriction and they do very good, as you can see here. This one sold for $89 with shipping. Listed October 12th, sold October 17th. So very good turnaround there. Here I got this Peter Millar jacket, sold for 80 bucks. Listed September 22nd, sold September 23rd. Took 1 day. And this one was called the Shield Half Zip Rain Shell Pullover. Even had a few scuffs there on the bottom. Sold for 80 bucks. Good flip. Here we got another Suit Supply blazer. This one sold for $75. Listed September 3rd. Sold September 8th. This one had a Rita fabric. So it's one of those fabrics that it's pretty decent. Sold for $80. Here we got a Joseph Abboud blazer. Sold for 70 bucks. Listed July 8th. Sold September 24th. This one had a silk and linen blend. So that's definitely the reason that I priced it higher than I usually do for Joseph Abboud blazers. And also this fabric, San Ildefonso. First time ever hearing about this fabric. I'm not sure if they're good, but I added that to the title. But I think what sold this one was, I think there's a couple of things that, that helped it sell. First, 52R. Sometimes bigger sizes and these lesser brands do pretty good. But I think what made it sell mostly was the silk and linen blend. People are searching for that, so did pretty good on that one. Here I got a Billy Reed jacket, sold for 70 bucks. Listed September 7th, sold October 20th. This one had a nice insulation. It was quilted. It's a good flip there. Here I got a Josie Bank Traveler blazer. Some people have asked me, do I really sell Josie Bank blazers? I do. Now I don't sell a lot of them. I don't honestly pick up a lot of Josie Bank blazers. You just have to have a nice pattern like this one. This one had a nice color, just something that makes it unique, stick out from other listings. And this one sold, how much did it sell for? So for 70 bucks. So that's actually a really good price for a Josie Bank blazer. And I priced it higher just because, again, you're not going to find a lot of blazers in this like purple color. So very good with that one. Here I got this Nike Club Fleece sweatsuit. Now the crazy thing about this one is that the top was extra large and the sweatpants were size large. So I added that to the title. Obviously I added that to my condition and the description as well. And this one I listed July 31st, sold October 9th. It hasn't been returned, knock on wood. Hopefully everything is good with that one. I think I sold this one for $70, right? Yeah, I think it was like 75 bucks. Here I got some Gervaux jeans. Very bright red color. You don't see these very often in Gervaux jeans. This one was the authentic relaxed fit. And it sold for 75 bucks or $79. I listed this September 15th, sold October 30th. Here I got another one of those tailor stitch shirts that I found. Oh no, actually this was another day that I found another tailor stitch, but I've been finding a lot of tailor stitch lately, so that's a good thing for sure. I listed this one October 1st and sold October 3rd. Very quick turnaround for 75 bucks. This one was again like a shirt jacket style. It was like an indigo blue. Very nice color. Nice texture. Very good flip. Here we got a Hugo Boss blazers. Very selective when it comes to Hugo Boss blazers. It's not an automatic pickup. But if I can find something unique about it, like this one had a nice, well, I didn't even add that to the title, but I think in the pictures you can kind of see it. It's kind of like a suede texture. I don't think it was suede though. It did have the nice elbow patches and it did pretty good. Sold for $69. Here I got a J. Crew University jacket. This one I had since last winter. I think I got it. Oh no, I guess I didn't. I bought this March 2nd, sold September 7th. So obviously, if you're gonna buy jackets like this, before the summer or during the summertime. Expect to sit on it a couple months, you know, just in time for the fall to come and the winter. People are going to be searching for these. But I've done pretty good with the J. Crew university jackets, like the parka longer coats like this. Do pretty good in men's. And I got $69 for that one. All right, here I got another Jose Bank blazer. This one was new with tags. Sold for $70. Listed September 5th. Sold October 23rd. But yeah, I mean, new with tag Jose Bank blazers can do pretty good, especially if it has a nice pattern like this one. Here I got a Grayson quarter zip. Sold for $80. Listed September 16th. Sold September 21st. And this one was called the Sebanak. Was this cashmere? Because I didn't add that to the title. I think this was cashmere. Let's check. Yeah, it was cashmere, and I didn't even add that to the title. That's crazy. I mean, it still sold. How much did it sell for? Sold for $70, right? $79. It's not bad. Here I got a Ohio State Buckeyes Nike puffer vest. Sold for $65. I listed September 7th, and it sold October 21st. I think I paid less. I think around like $20 for this one. So it's still a good flip. Here I got some Sid Mashburn pants. Sid Mashburn is pretty much an automatic pickup for me. Even like their button ups, you can still get over 30. You know, mainly probably between like 30 and 40. But their jeans and pants, they can do very good. As you can see, this one sold for, well, I think I accepted like $70 offer. Listed June 15th, sold October 24th. It took a while to sell. It did have a few like scuffs, few fading marks, but I mean, I still got $70, so not bad. Here I got a Porsche jacket, sold for $65. Listed October 15th, sold October 27th. I paid $10 for this one, and I was on the fence when I was at the thrift store. I don't know if I should pick it up or not. I'm glad I picked it up. Obviously, sold for $65. I'm not sure if all the Porsche items do good, but this was a nice jacket. The quality was very good, and it was missing like the zipper pull. I think if this was here, I could have probably got a little bit more, but not bad. Here I got a Canali blazer, sold for $80. Not too much to say about that one. Here I got a Loro Piana suit, sold for $70. But look how long they're taking. August 28th, sold October 21st. So, what, like 2 months? It's still not bad for a blazer, in my opinion. This was a cool flip. This was a vintage J. Crew Oarsman jacket. I listed October 31st, sold October 4th. The J. Crew Oarsman items, the vintage items can do good. J. Crew, they started remaking the Oarsman tag, so you got to be careful. You have to know if it's vintage or more modern. You can figure out by, like the material and the care label and all that stuff. But this one was nice because it had like you can like unzip the sleeves, make it into a vest. Very cool. Sold for $70. Here we got another Harris Tweed blazer, sold for $70. Listed October 23rd, sold October 27th. Here we got a Wallace & Barnes denim shirt. How much is this? Sold for $55. I listed June 11th, sold September 29th. Wallace & Barnes can still do pretty good. This was a size small. Smaller sizes tend to sell a little bit slower, but they'll still sell. Still, Wallace & Barnes still a decent brand. The jackets can do very good. The button-ups, I would caution. Definitely look up the exact model if you can. And it's usually here. I think it's like similar to the J. Crew. It has like the style and then the model right there. So I wasn't expecting this one to sell as fast as it did. This was a Bogacy performance blazer. Sometimes in the past, I picked up some of their shirts, the more like crazy and bolder patterns have done pretty good. I mean the comps weren't that good for this, but just looking at this blazer, man, it was a nice one. First, like the color, again with that purplish color, the burgundy color, you don't really see that very often in blazers. And it had like this like mesh knit material. I mean, to be honest, it was a really cool one. I listed September 12th and it sold October 1st. So it took less than a month. That's not bad. And it sold for $70. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for part 2, and I'll see you in the next one.